Hi guys, welcome to our first ever official episode of So Basically Podcast. We're your hosts, Somya,
Genshin,
and Sharonya.
And today, to start off the new year, we're going to be talking about new beginnings and also to mark the beginning of our first podcast. So basically, I do like a debate club, right? And we were like doing impromptu speeches and everything. And all the questions had to do with like new beginnings, new year, new me, basically. And I feel like everyone like was saying like during the thing like, oh yeah, new year doesn't have to be like new you like right away. You can't change everything about yourself like right away. And also like what's so significant about the new year? Like it's that even my mom was talking about that actually. When New Year's coming, actually, what's this like one random day? You know what I mean? Like you can't just like transform. Like you can't shapeshift into a new person that one day. And I feel like that's what I do like every new year, every beginning of summer, and every end of summer. Like I always like I'm a new person this year. Like you could do that any day. Like any day could be your new beginning. But I feel like just no one ever. It's only those 3 days, and like no one even does it. You know what I mean? Like because I feel like we set like the unrealistic expectation of just like wanting to be someone completely different, and it just like doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Because it's not possible. You can't do that. Yeah. So
I feel like there's like so many expectations that you put on yourself when it's the new year. When you start, you're like read 100 books this year, and like you haven't read a book in a year or something like that, and it's kind of difficult and unrealistic, and it also kind of unmotivates you, because if you look back at your goals in a year and then you're like, oh, I didn't do a single one of these, that just makes you feel worse than you already did. So instead of that, I feel like it's better to maybe just pick like a weekend to kind of set yourself up, start with something smaller, and then kind of branch off of that throughout the year, rather than just saying, oh, I'm gonna be perfect from day one, I'm gonna do this. That's kind of unrealistic.
yeah, it's like 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Like also puts pressure on you. Like one of my New Year's resolutions was like read more books, right? And like the last year, I'm gonna be so honest, I didn't read much at all. And I feel like literally making that time, like if I never made that time to read before, I'm not gonna magically get it in the new year, you know what I mean? Unless like, you actually sit there and like think like, how am I gonna like, you know, make this time for myself, and like actually doing it. Because like you have homework, you have school, you have things, like it's just like, it's not realistic. It's just like randomly like that time's fun. Because like I have Emma there, and literally it was like my New Year's resolution to, I think it was like read 5 books during the semester, which isn't even crazy, but like literally I started on like New Year's Day, and I think I'm only like 2 chapters in, and it's January 27th today.
I think like the the whole like saying of like, oh, new year, new me. It's kind of like tying back into like what y'all are talking about, because like there's so much stigma and like pressure around not just internally on yourself, but like other people. You see other people like doing all these things, and, like on social media, what we don't really ever think about is like maybe this is like their best year in their entire life, and like that can't happen every year. I feel like what I do a lot is I like compare myself to people on social media and like their lives and like what they did with their year.
I follow like a couple of people like on Instagram, and one of them, like I look up to her a lot, and she posted this one slideshow, and it was like what I did every month in this past year. She was like so successful the entire year, and that just like comparing yourself and overall isn't that good, but just like puts yourself down, and it's like, oh, I didn't do anything this past year, and I feel like that kind of sets you up to make more unrealistic standards in like the next year. And I feel like it's really important to focus on yourself and what you can personally accomplish, instead of like setting those really unrealistic goals.
Also, like I was thinking to myself today, like I was like, oh my god, like I already like waste like a month of 2026, like because I wanted every month to be productive this year. I wanted to, you know, like actually like be successful and like reach some like goals, because like I like every year I set like some pretty big goals for myself, and every year I get like kind of disappointed. And me and Vision, Shirley was in Arizona, so she couldn't talk to us, but me and Vision on New Year's Eve, we were making goals for the new year, and we were like, I was going through my 2025 like goals and my New Year's makeup, and like honestly I was low-key surprised about the amount of things I could cross off. But I feel like the big like important, the ones I really would have wanted to cross off, I didn't cross them off, and that made me feel bad. But like going back to what I was saying, like yeah, I already burned through a month of 2026, but also there's 11 months left. That's a long time. I feel like if you just like miss like a month or 2 months, you're suddenly like, oh my god, like look at the whole like years, were like, you have 11 months, that's a long time. Like you shouldn't waste all those because you wasted one.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times we don't like the the small things that we ended up accomplishing, just because they're small, we like just acknowledge them as like nothing. And what we need to start doing as individuals, like me specifically, I feel like I should just start like appreciating and celebrating what I have accomplished, and instead of just like dwelling on like what I haven't done. Instead of like having that negative growth mindset, you know?
Yeah, I feel
Negative-
the same exact way.
like a negative growth mindset of like looking, oh yeah, I didn't do this that I was supposed to do, that I told myself I was gonna do, I didn't do this. What I think we all need to collectively do is just like go in and see the small wins that we did. Like, oh, I made my bed like every single day for like one full week, which I know it may seem like super small, but like it's like rooted in psychology. Like getting the small tasks done helps you have more confidence to like complete the big tasks.
We were talking about that.
Yeah,
we were talking about that like
Yeah,
yesterday.
Is this Atomic Habit, right?
Oh
Yeah,
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 I was reading that. I think like
No,
one of our
literally,
friends was,
like,
reading that.
literally so many of my teachers have been like reading Atomic Habits and stuff. Another thing I wanted to talk about was something that we plan to do. And like Sonia said, on New Year's Eve we like set our goals and stuff. And on top of that, we set up monthly debriefs. And that's basically just like a time for us to get together and reflect on our goals and set up new goals for the upcoming month. And I feel like that's a like really important thing to do. Like even if you don't like have friends or like set up monthly debriefs to talk about with each other, like something you can do yourself is to every month set a specific date and reflect on what you did that month and set up new goals for like the upcoming month. And that really helps with just like seeing where you are currently and like overall just helping you reach your goals.
Yeah, like keep each other accountable.
Yeah.
And also, I want to talk in 2025. Like I was like on like the last couple days of like the year, like we were like talking, we were trying to set new goals, and we're also like thinking back on like because like Good was like watching this like YouTube video.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like
I
and the
remember,
first
fall, right?
yeah, the first thing that you should do was saying like okay, reflect on your 2025. And I want to talk about like yeah, maybe I didn't accomplish the big goals, but I feel like personal growth, even like without consciously trying that much in 2025, because that just like wasn't on my mind. I feel like I had so much of it. Like I think I came out of 2025 like a much more peaceful like person. Like I just feel so much better. Like I think part of it was like certain friendships that I was in that were like stressing me out. Like, guys, like I was talking to Gunja the other day, and I was talking to my mother, I was talking to someone. I was like, if I could go back in time and give myself like one piece of advice, like, please don't be in friendships that stress you out, because I feel like that's like getting rid of like those friendships, or at least like distancing myself from that was like the number one thing that I felt like helped me grow as a person in 2025. Is just like find like peace and like you know just like confidence in general. I feel like I gained a lot of that in 2025, like subconsciously. So like when we were making our goals for 2026, I was thinking about we were talking about like personal growth too. Like one of our big goals was like spending time with our families, because we only have 2 years left with them, and like you know I really love my parents. I'm very lucky to have such a great family. It's sad. Like I genuinely start crying if I think about like I have to leave them soon. You know what I mean? So we were talking about like you know instead of just always being up in our rooms, like we should actually go sit downstairs when we're doing work and like you know like make time. I was gonna say I have a younger brother, right? So I was talking about like actually like making a conscious effort to spend time with him, the time I love, because it's never gonna be like the 4 of us in a house like that again, most likely. So proud of like the subconscious like growth I was able to go through like as a person, and I feel like in 2026 I want to like do that like more, because I'm like actually actively thinking about.
Yeah.
Also, I think we forgot to mention we are currently sophomores in
Oh yeah,
high school.
we're sophomores.
So just like
Yeah.
the context.
She's very freshly 16. We'll talk about that later. Stay tuned, guys. Okay. But back to what you were talking about, I can really relate to it. But like, see, these two, they're like the older siblings in the household. So like, they're the first to leave the nest and that kind of thing. But I'm the younger sister, so they have 2 years left with their like families and their brothers. I have 1 year left with my sister, and like, I really hope my sisters are watching this. Okay. I'm honestly, it like scares me a little bit to think about like how I only have this year left with my sister to spend with her before she goes off to college. Like one of my big goals is also just like spend time with my family, but especially my sister. Even just like going to school and like her letting her drive me everywhere, and like going to like get food and stuff. Like I just want to spend as much time as possible with her. Even though like I say that, and then I'm also like holed up in my room all the time, like just like talking to my friends. I really want to work on that and start talking to like my whole family, and like just being able to spend time together, all 4 of us, because it's gonna be 3 of us and then 2 of us like very soon. So like that's honestly something I'm fearing, but also it's something I definitely need to work on in 2026.
Yeah, kind of branching off of that, but like in an older sibling perspective. My brother, he's like only a couple years younger than me, and he's like also growing up. Like when I'm a senior, he's gonna be a freshman, right? And it's like kind of scary because like as he grows up, obviously he's gonna be like less openly affectionate. So that's kind of scary for me because I want to spend as much time with him as I can before I graduate. And that's like one thing I really want to do like this upcoming year is to spend more time with him and like connect with him better. So yeah.
My brother, he's a lot younger, so he definitely has some time. Like he's about 5 years younger. Like so he has like time before he's gonna like leave and everything. But sometimes I don't like. I feel like he's like ignoring me too, or like we don't like spend as much time with each other. But like I don't realize like I want to like hang out with him. He also wants to hang out with me. Like he was asking me to like play Roblox with him or something, and I was like I like finally like agreed or whatever. And he was like he was so excited. He's like finally like everyone plays Roblox with their siblings, but I never play with you. Or like you know what I mean?
So you're not gonna play with us though.
It's
She refuses to
only
download
for
Roblox.
my brother, bro.
Okay.
But like I feel like my younger brother, he also wants to spend time. It's just like as you get older, it becomes more and more difficult. Everyone gets busy. Everyone like starts having their own lives. So you need to make a more conscious effort and like also communicate about it. I feel like because like I would have known that like he wants to spend time with me, right? If he hadn't like said anything, like you know what I mean? And because you can't know. But like I feel like everyone wants to be close with their siblings for the most part. And I want to be close with him like when we grow up too. Like we were actually talking a couple days ago. Like when we were like when I was in like my 20s and stuff, like we can go on like a sibling trip or whatever, and like we can like go somewhere like us two. But like I want to have a close enough relationship to be able to do that eventually. But like I feel like that starts now with like actually making time for each other. Because it's hard with like school and stuff. Like everyone's busy. Like everyone, like I want to hang out with my friends too. I want to I don't want to like fail every class. But like relationships are important.
After that, I feel like we should branch into Somya's Sweet 16. So Somya's birthday is very like
literally happened recently, like a couple weeks ago. And I want to actually talk about English for a second. In English right now, we're reading a book called A Separate Peace. 1940s, like during like the war, these guys are in this like New England boarding school, right? And it's like their life in the beginning, it starts off as like really idealistic, and like they just like feel like they're so far from the war in certain ways. Especially it talks about that certain age group of boys, like they're 16 in the book, and there's a quote that talks about like 16 being like the perfect age, like the exact age you're supposed to be. Like any age older or younger seems like insignificant, but like 16 is like the age. And like I feel like that's like so like prevalent in pop culture and everything like that, like being 16, like 16 candles, or like just like there's so much about being 16. And now that I'm 16, I'm like wait, like I want to have the full 16 experience.
Yeah.
Like I actually didn't get my driver's license.
She's not gonna get it.
she doesn't even have a permit yet.
Literally.
So
She's not
And I
gonna
need to wait 6 months until I can actually get my permit.
She was supposed to drive us around all summer, and she's not gonna do it.
But anyways, like yeah, I feel like that honestly kind of inspired me to like actually start like
Romanticizing your
yeah,
life.
romanticizing, like also just sort of like everyone talks about living in the moment, but like genuinely, because like I feel like so much of my life it's been spent like looking forward to a certain age or a certain time, and I feel like a lot of that was looking forward to being 16. So now I'm 16, like I better be 16, you know what I mean? I'm better. It's not like I have to like do everything that's like like a stereotypical 16-year-old would. I literally can't because I can't drive. Because I'm gonna start actually like making the most, because there's only 11 months left actually. Like I'm already a month through, and I know I said earlier like 11 months is a long time. Like I want to make them count, because like genuinely, like if it's the age to be, like you don't get it again. Like I'm gonna be 17 next year, so while I'm 16, I really want to enjoy it. So these two have a while, so they don't have to worry about it.
I'm the.
also, I feel like obviously like in pop culture, like 16 is like such a big age and all that. But at the same time, like it's kind of, you have to put in a conscious effort to make it feel like, oh yeah, I'm 16 years old. It's like, so sometimes I feel like it could be kind of unrealistic.
It's definitely not, because it looks different for everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, like we all have our own lives and everything.
Yeah, like not everyone's prime year is gonna be their 16.
Yeah.
Also, like it's literally in movies and pop culture. Like obviously everything's gonna be a very idealistic version of what they like think being a teenager should look like. But at the same time, like obviously you are gonna be a teenager again. It's honestly that's an interesting like time in your life where like you're not like a kid. Like you can think for yourself, you can go out, you can do part of all these things, clubs, and then obviously in school, and like you just meet a wider variety of people. I feel like, and you have to do a wider variety of things. You have more responsibilities. Like it just builds.
Yeah, and I definitely think that like once you get older and once you get out of elementary, even like middle school, like your whole mindset like changes. Like because when you're in elementary school, I feel like we're so much better at just living in the moment and just being a kid then, because you weren't like the future felt so far away. Like when we were talking about like the like pop culture of like what we were in elementary school, we were like 4th and 5th graders watching these 16-year-olds just like falling in love and like going on these crazy trips, doing these like normal like like the teenage dream with the American teenage high school like
oh my
that
god,
kind of
we
thing.
were watching
Monte Carlo.
and it's like such a like
Yeah,
crazy
it's
thing to think about. Like, oh my god, we're like growing
Well, I
up.
was talking about earlier, like 16 is the age that I always thought about being, and now I am 16. And like that's kind of crazy to me. I feel like.
Also, I feel like I can't speak on like being 16 because obviously I'm not 16. But like when I was younger, I thought that like 15 was such like a big like bodacious. Like a very like I felt like 15 was so much more mature than it feels.
Yeah.
Like when you're 15, I feel so young right now. Like, but also we are young.
You,
But
like,
I
you
just
don't realize that.
yeah, and like I think it's just like kind of crazy to me. Like I feel so young but so old at the same time because I have this kind of experience. Like all of my friends are older than me. Like you literally just turned 16. I'm not gonna turn 16 until October, which I think is honestly really crazy. So I feel like I've always felt a year older than I actually am. Like
She skipped a grade too.
yeah,
Smart.
guys, I skipped kindergarten. But like when I turned 15, I felt like I was 15 since the beginning of that year, just because like everyone I surrounded with myself with was more mature now. So I had an older sister. But like now when I like consciously think about it, like it's so crazy to me that I only have 2 years left like here, and then I have to go and be an adult and just like live my own life, you know? So like I just think I feel so young and old at the same time, and like 15 feels like way back then 15 felt so like old and mature, but like now that I'm 15 I just feel like such a baby. Like I feel like I have so much more to experience in my life. Like everything that I've done so far is just like surface level, and like I have my whole life ahead of me.
Yeah, for sure. No, okay, we were like orchestra, and we were doing a quartet at a nursing home, and this lady came to talk to us afterwards, and she was like asking how old we were, and we were saying like at the time we were all 15, right? We were all like over 15, we're sophomores, and she's like, wow, you guys really just have like the world at your fingertips, right? And I feel like that's one thing I'm kind of grateful for right now is like my life, like genuinely I don't know what's gonna happen, you know what I mean? Like it really could just go in any direction. I'm really like glad for that right now, like from my own like mental peace, because like I'm like obviously like okay, every single time you meet someone they're like, oh, what do you want to do, like what's in your future, what are you planning on doing, like that's the conversation. But like part of me is so glad that I don't know, because like it could be anything, like I could be anything still, you know what I mean? Because like when I'm like 50, like I'm gonna know what's happened in my life. Like obviously I'm not saying your life's over at 50, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you know, what's like the main things, your job, your career, your family. I feel like what happened to you in your life, like you basically know like what your life is consists of. Like when you're younger, before you go to college, before you like make those like big decisions, like before you settle down, like you don't know. Like anything can happen. You know what I mean? Like I feel like at least like one thing I really appreciate is at this point there's still like infinite possibilities, which I appreciate about being young. Like if you wanna, like if you're in college and you just wanna switch your major, which is probably like life altering, you can do that. When you're older and you have responsibilities and you already have like been through so much already, like that's a much harder thing to do. But like I like that when you're young you can still you can still choose for yourself.
I feel like that uncertainty puts a lot of pressure on me. Like the way you put it like makes me realize like yeah, it's like great and amazing that we have that like opportunity, but at the same time I feel like I'm like so scared for the future. Like I feel like I don't know what I'm doing currently, and it's just like I feel like that uncertainty like it's kind of like makes me scared, but at the same time like the way you put it makes me like excited that I do have the opportunity to like
it's
do
what you
whatever
do with the opportunity. I feel
Yeah.
like because like I feel like at this point like also like we're very like blessed to like have so many opportunities like and education, like we have a lot ahead of us, I feel like. So it's just like what you do with it now. Like, because yeah, you have the opportunity in front of you, but the thing is, like, yeah, you have all these infinite possibilities with your life, but you have to actually do them. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Like, we have to, like, actually work
make a
for
conscious effort. Okay, well, something I wanted to talk about is, you know, when that lady, she came up to us and she was like, oh, don't you just have the world at your fingertips? I was talking about, like, you know how people always talk about, like, you know, childlike wonder and, like, how you see the world differently? Like, that made me kind of think about the world through that lens again, you know what I mean? Because, like, I feel like up until then, like, when I was thinking about the future, like, kind of like Gunjan was saying, I was just like, oh my god, like, what am I supposed to do? I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Like, it's just scary. Like, genuinely, I didn't, like, people just try to talk about it to me, I just shut down. Like, I don't want to talk about it. But, like, that made me see it through, like, a new lens of, like, wait, but, like, I can do anything. Like, genuinely, the world is at my fingertips. Like, whatever I want to make happen, it's the hard part is actually making it happen and, like, figuring out what it is you want to do and doing it. Like, that is definitely the hard part and the scary part. But it, like, made me see the world through, like, this new lens of, like, not, like, dreading it, but, like, seeing it as, like I have a whole life to live. Like, that's the opportunity in itself, you know what I mean?
I love that mindset. Like, you're really, like, that, okay, because, like Gunjan was saying earlier, like, that's one of my biggest fears, because, like, whenever, like, me and my family, like, my mom or my dad are just, like, sitting down and having a conversation, like, the conversation is always brought up, like, oh, like, what are you thinking about doing? Like, do you have any idea what you're doing, like, with your life? Like, what's the next step? And, like, what are the things what are the steps you're gonna take to, like, set up your future? And, like, I've always avoided the conversation because it's just so scary to think about, because, like, I'm a very indecisive person personally. Like, the amount of choices have always been so overwhelming, but, like, I think the way that you put it, like, just made it so, it's so refreshing to think about it that way, because, like, we have so many things that we could do with our lives, and we just have to, like, do it. That's kind of, like, brings up the conversation of, like, you can do anything if you put your mind up to it. Like, I feel like everyone says it, but we never really internalize
for the past
it.
few days, my dad's been like, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah,
and like, I'm like,
genuinely, you know, like those, like, Barbie, like, you know, like the tagline they used to show you when you were little, like, Barbie, like, you can be anything.
Yes.
It's like that, like, you genuinely can be anything, but, like, the hard part is actually, like, you know, doing it. And, like, but I think it's also important to, like, not put yourself in a box, you know what I mean? Because, like, you don't just have to be one thing. Like, Shine was talking about, she wants 2026 to be the year of side quests, and she wants to be like all these. Like, I really want my life to be like that. Like, yeah, obviously, I want, like, I would say, like, I'm a pretty ambitious person. Like, I want to be successful. I want to, you know, have achievements and have accomplishments. I definitely want that, but I also want, you know, everyone wants to be happy, but also be fulfilled. You know what I mean? And I feel like just doing, like, you know, like, and that looks different to every single person. And I feel like, you know, I've been thinking about it recently, like, being fulfilled to me, like, yeah, obviously part of that is, you know, getting a good job and getting an education, but, like, it's also, like, something I really want to do is, like, travel, and, you know, I want to work on certain creative projects, and, like, you know, just, like, random side quests, especially when you're young and you're more flexible, like I was talking about earlier, in high school and college. You have, you know, you don't have, like, to, like, go home to your kids and, like, cook for them and, like, you know, put them in bed and stuff. When you have that time, like, I want to do those extra things, so when I look back, like, I have stories to tell my grandkids, you know what I mean? Like, I have, like, these random things that I did, and I feel like that would also make me feel like a more accomplished person if I had these things.
See, like, I think I have a lot of things that I need to fix about myself, but one of the things that I really, like, I feel like I'm a very spontaneous type of person. Like, I love just, like, doing things just, like, for no reason, like, and just going for it, you know? If I'm passionate about something and I want something, like, I just, like, just spontaneously do it. And I've always been like that ever since I was a little kid. Like, if there was a hobby that I wanted to do, I would Amazon order everything I need to do for that hobby, and then it would come the next day, and then I would start doing it and spend all week doing it, and then I would be done and be bored and do something else. That's why I want to be, like, more of, like, a side quest kind of person, because I just want to be spontaneous. And, like, I'm sitting on my butt at home and doing nothing when I could literally just go out and just, like, dance around in the snow and just, like, or go to my friend's house, knock on their door and drag them out and just go on a sunset walk. If we're tying back to, like, our goals are for the new year and stuff, because that's what this episode is about.
One thing I want to talk about, like what Shani was saying, is, like, one thing she really likes about herself. That's one thing I want to bring into 2026 is, like, being more proud of ourselves for things. Genuinely, like, you know, like, I'm not trying to, like, brag or be a boastful person. Obviously, I'm only 6 and obviously there's so much growth, like, left for me as a person, but I felt like I was proud proud of myself for that, and I think that's something we should bring into 2026. Is like being proud of like the people we are, because like there's definitely like good qualities in everyone, of course.
Yeah, I feel like I understand what Sonia was saying, but like looking back on this past year, like when we were doing that reflection thing, I was like, oh my god, there's so many things. Like I feel like I've gotten worse, and like it obviously is really important to like highlight all the good stuff. But then when I was like looking back at it, I was like, oh my god, I feel like I didn't grow as a person, and I feel like that's like also okay.
Yeah.
Because like
Growth isn't linear.
Wait, guys, I'm gonna edit a T-shirt. Yeah, right there.
yeah, and it's like obviously I'm like really happy that like you feel that way, but sometimes like people like feel the opposite. It's like because like me personally, I feel like I didn't grow that much last year.
Yeah.
It's like okay to feel that way.
And also it can be different in different areas of your life, because I feel like when it comes to like me, like as my personality, I feel like I grew like a decent amount. But when it comes to like school, like studying habits or like things like that, like you know, figuring out what I want to do with my life, all those hard conversations, that did not happen. I did not grow, and like genuinely, Gunja was talking about like getting worse. Like I feel like one big problem I really want to fix in 2026 is procrastination. That just got worse. Like it genuinely just got worse and worse and worse in 2025. And like,
If you know,
and it was my goal in 2025 too to like fix that, and I literally just went the opposite way. So
We're gonna do an episode of procrastination.
yeah,
Stay
stay
tuned.
tuned.
That's the
So
big one.
basically, stay tuned.
But yeah, like definitely, I think it's different in different parts of your life for sure. Because like some places you can grow a lot, some places you could regress or stay the same.
And like going back to what I was saying like towards the beginning of this episode, I was talking about like how like social media has such like a big stigma of like every time you like look at like someone online, they're just talking about the best parts of their life and how good of a year they had. But you don't know the bad years that they've had, because once again, you said growth isn't linear, and like that's why it's so bad like that in myself. I need to stop comparing myself to other people in like their years, because like that may have been the best year of their life, and it like the next year might be like one of their worst years, you know? So like I think I need to stop like dwelling on that fact and just like start realizing that like being bad is okay. Being bad is okay, because when you're hit bottom, it's only up from there.
Interlinked. What's it like the whole thing?
If I have the absolute like worst year of my life, okay, I know that that's the worst year of my life, and like it can only get better from there, you know?
One thing that happened last year, and I feel like I'm really proud of myself for like figuring it out, is like for all of high school I've been like a CS kid, right? And I was like cause my parents, like my dad, like had a conversation like before I went into high school. They're like, oh, so what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to go into? And my dad was like, oh, maybe CS is a really good option. And then, but as the year went on, right, I feel like I hit a wall. Like I felt like I wasn't going anywhere with it. Like I just didn't feel passionate about it as much as I did like when I was younger, and I really wanted to go into med. I wanted to be a pediatrician. And I had a conversation with the two of you, literally at like a sleepover.
It was our last sleepover.
That's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
literally,
This is the
it
next
was
sleepover
so- oh,
since
yeah.
then.
I started like crying and like breaking down. I was like I have no idea what I want to do, but like I feel like having a conversation like that like helped me realize like no, med is something I really want to go into, and I'm like proud of myself figuring that out. So yeah,
I think one of the things we were talking about in that conversation that really like made me think about like what I want to do when I grow up, and if I'm going to be proud of that, is we were talking about like I was talking about really like fulfillment, right? And we were thinking to myself like if I do what I'm planning on doing right now, if like 30 years from now we look back on our lives and like what we've done, our jobs, like are we genuinely gonna be like, wow, I'm so proud that I did that. I'm genuinely truly happy. Like if I completed everything I wanted to, like this is my dream. Like I think like it's like scary to think about. It's also like big because life does not turn out the way you planned at all, and like you know you might have these like really unrealistic expectations, and you just learn that that's not how things work. So I think yeah, that is like a part of it, but at the same time, I feel like you should at least try to be it. So, but also part of that comes from just genuinely like
This is me like kind of thinking like for future forward thinking, but like no matter where I end up, like because I honestly I have no idea where I'm going to end. I really hope I'll be able to just like be grateful for where I am, and because like So like whenever we're like scrolling on TikTok, like I think I was literally scrolling on Instagram Reels, and I was just seeing like all these people talking about like, oh, here are the SAT prep classes that you have to take. These are all like the things that you need to do, all the extracurriculars you have to take to be a part of the school and like fulfill your dream, do whatever. If this is your dream school, then this is exactly what you have to do, like cookie cutter. But like I think there's just such a big stigma of like high school, of like being like doing the absolute most just to like everyone has to be extraordinary in order to get to college. Like the competition is getting so bad nowadays because like everyone is just doing these absolutely crazy things that like I just think it's really hard not to compare yourself to those types of people.
Like one really big stigma around like this cookie cutter stuff is that you think like, oh, you need to do like start $1 million company. Like realistically, what I think is colleges want to see your passion for something, and like when you're really passionate about something, then you show that through like all of the actions you do. Like maybe you start like a non-profit for like a medical issue that you're really like passionate about, and you kind of mold everything into that one thing. I feel like that's what colleges care about, rather than like, oh, you made like $1 million non-profit, oh, you made a building or something like that. Like I don't think colleges care about that more than like seeing like a straightforward path to something and seeing the amount of effort you put into that, because that's like ultimately decides like your like future success and stuff. So
I think that's genuinely like one thing like I feel like is like something like a fault in me maybe is like I'm really, I get Shari's talking about like comparison. I feel like I get that a lot. Maybe not so much with people on social media, but definitely in my own school or like my peers, because like genuinely like, I'm very proud of like my friends and like people around me. Don't get me wrong, I am. But at the same time, like it's really difficult to see people around you like being so successful and doing all these things like and you feel so left behind, you know what I mean? And like also like people are like they gatekeep and like this and that, you feel so in the dark and you're just like, what the heck is going on? And like I think everyone just wants to be successful and do well for themselves and be happy, you know what I mean? Like that's what everyone wants, but like I think it just turns into such a big like competition and everything like that, like and you feel so like left behind all the time. I feel like, you know, like I feel like everyone's like running some sort of race, like it's always like you that's last. I feel like everyone knows everything but me, everyone's doing something but me, and it's so easy for people to be like, oh no, you're doing so great too. I'm like, oh, like,
you know, that's so crazy that you said that, because like how everyone's like internal perspective is like different from everyone, because I like look up to you so much. Like you are genuinely like, she is so smart, she's like genuinely academic weapon. Okay, so you're like talking about how like you feel like you're being left behind, but like I feel like I'm being left behind for you. Like you're just accomplished, you're genuinely like so intelligent, so like cool of a person. Like, I don't know if you guys can like tell, but like she's so well articulated and like such a great life ahead of you. And like I think what we need to do like internally is just like alter our own perspective, because like we all think that we're the ones that are left behind, but like really that's what other people might be thinking about you.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like honestly, like sometimes I talk to my mom about this. It's like the truth is no one in our school is Einstein. I feel like for the most part, like me too, like none of us are like, to be realistic about it, are like super crazy geniuses, like gonna be like king of the world or anything like that. It's okay. And I think it's important to like be like, yeah, you're ordinary people. We all are ordinary people, but we all matter. Like maybe I'm ordinary, like, you know, to the universe, but like to my friends I matter, and my friends matter to me. To my family I matter, and my family matters to me. And like I think that's enough. You know, if you're extraordinary for a certain group of people, then that should be enough.
And I feel that's a really important mindset to have, like, for this upcoming year, especially because I feel like I feel what Somia says, like, about like
each other.
Yes,
That's why we're friends.
Yes. No, because like she's like, yeah, I don't find myself comparing more so to like people like online. I find myself comparing to like people around me and stuff, and that's like, and like what Sonia said, I feel like it's more. I feel like we talked a lot about like future stuff, like school stuff. Like this is a great start to our first episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
So,
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I hope you guys can relate to what we were talking about, because I feel like these are some like really good conversations that I feel like me personally, I keep this a lot of this to myself, and it's really nice to just be able to sit down with you guys and just talk about this.
Yeah, I feel like that's one really good thing about having great friends. is that you can
We should do a
talk about
friendship
this.
episode.
Yes! Oh my god, that'd be
Would you guys, okay, let us know, like, in the comment section, like, we're gonna post it on YouTube, so, like, let us know in the comment section if you guys would, like,
Yeah, give us like suggestions.
yeah, give us
requests.
comment,
That'd be so fun.
yeah, and if you listen to this the whole way through, like, we love you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening if you're listening on Spotify, and hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.